please put Sarah on. I already told you. My plant-based burrito bowl didn't have enough rice cauliflower in it today. It's unacceptable. Just put her on. Oh, holy smokers, guys. I didn't realize it was recording already. Hope you guys are doing great as always out there. Welcome into today's video. We got some craziness going on in the stock market. We got to talk about it, guys. A lot of moves out there with a lot of stocks. And a lot of people wondering what the heck's going on. Why are certain stocks continuing to run? Why are certain stocks going down? Like, what do these stocks go? What is going on with some of these stocks? Are they all going to $1 a share, like zero? Like, what is going on? So we're going to get into this, guys. Hope you enjoy this as always. And if you didn't already know, the massive Black Friday sale is only very shortly. It's coming, okay? Essentially, if you want me to email you over the deal or text you over the deal as soon as it drops, check out pinned comment down there, guys. This is a huge deal because literally we haven't done one of these since last year, all right? Alrighty, guys, so if you're looking out there and you're looking at stocks, and by the way, I need one thing from everybody before we get into this video. Hit the subscribe button. It's free, the subscribe button, okay? Thank you, everybody, all right? Alrighty, so yeah, if you're looking out there, you're looking at a lot of stocks doing very well on a day like today, right? And there's a trend that all these stocks, like at least, on my watch list, the stocks that have been winners for the past year, especially this year, they're continuing to go up and up and up, with the exception of Tattoo Chef. Okay, Tattoo Chef hasn't had a great year, but that's a little bit of a different stock. Tattoo Chef's a cult stock, so Tattoo Chef's going to do whatever Tattoo Chef wants to do over the next few years. That's all I'm going to say about that. Regardless if the market goes up, down, all around, that's a cult stock, and cult stocks move different. Kind of like Tesla is the biggest version of the cult stock, and that one does whatever the heck it wants to do, whenever the heck it wants to do it. It doesn't matter what's going on out there, okay? But at the end of the day, you look at a lot of these stocks, Walgreens had a really good year, Switch has had a really good year, Foot Locker's had a really good year, Tesla's had a really good year, Wynn's had an okay year. So a lot of these stocks that are, going up more and more, they're ones that are already having a good year and people just seem to be hiding out in them. Now, on the flip side, there's some stocks that just have been everything but good, okay? As in, they've been horrible, disaster stocks over the past year. Smile Direct Club, STC, would fall into that category. It's $3 a share here today. I mean, literally, that's one of those stocks that's like, is this going to zero? Is it going to one? Like, how low can this dang thing go? I mean, woo! It's like that game, you used to try to go like this. Oh, let me try to see if I can go under the pole. That's the definition of Smile Direct Club. I mean, literally, where's the bottom for this stock? 2, 1, 0? Like, it's incredible. It just continues to be a devastated stock day after day after day after day, right? But look at the trend. It's one of those stocks that everybody's down on the stock. So if you're thinking about, writing off a stock against some of your gains, why not sell Smile Direct Club, write it off against your gains? That's how a lot of people are thinking about this, right? And buy it back in 30 days from now or 45 days from now, right? So you don't get the wash sale rule. You look at Teladoc. I mean, this stock here today hit a new 52-week low literally today of $107. I mean, everybody's down on Teladoc. It doesn't matter. The big funds are down. Cathie Wood's down a ridiculous amount on Teladoc stock, TDoc, right? Every single investor that's bought into the stock, unless you bought into it years ago, you are down massively on the stock. And let's be quite honest, years ago, most people never heard of Teladoc stock. So for the most part, most of these folks got in the stock in the past year, and almost every single person, well, certainly if you bought in the past year, you were down, and you were down massively. So a lot of folks are looking at Teladoc and they're like, who's to say this baby's not going lower over the next 30, 45 days? Why not sell off, write off against gains, and go ahead and, flush that money somewhere else into maybe some of the winners? Because Tesla's moving. Why not flush it over to Tesla, right? You look at the Planet, right? So the Planet, I got in the stock obviously in I think either the back half of 2019 or especially in 2020. So folks like myself that got into this early when it was $1, $2 a share are looking great still at $4 a share. But let's be honest, a lot of the retail investors that started getting in Planet, they're down substantial amounts in the stock. So this is another one of those stocks that a lot of folks are looking at. And although it has an incredible future, kind of like Teladoc has an incredible future, a lot of these stocks, that are getting devastated have really bright futures. Smile Direct Club's a controversial one. People aren't so sure about the future. But Teladoc, Planet 13, some of these stocks, there's no question about their futures, but they just continue to be devastated because let's be honest, most people are down, and so they're looking to go ahead and write off these stocks against stocks they've sold this year for gains, right? Look at Honest stock. I mean, this one went IPO obviously this year in 2021.
it's been a downtrend. It's a disaster, right? It hit literally a 7 today. I was funny because just yesterday's video I was saying there's always seemed like this stock wants a 7 in front of it, and it literally hit it today. I did buy more shares of Honest, by the way, today. But yeah, that stock just continues to be absolutely obliterated. The Planet, did I really take 2 screenshots of the Planet? Well, I just wanted to show. Oh, that's the one I meant to take a screenshot of. Palantir. So PLTR. So unless you got in that late, let's call it mid to late springtime when the stock fell to about $18, $19 a share, unless you got in then, you're probably down on Palantir, and a ton of funds are down on Palantir, a ton of investors are down on Palantir because for the most part, the stock has been above, $20 a share in the past, other than, pretty much that time period when you could get it for, $19, $18 a share. And so people are looking at Palantir as another one of those stocks. They're like, is this stock really going to run anytime soon? A lot of folks and certainly not in the next 1 to 2 months. Let's go ahead and sell out. We'll buy back in a month or two and call it a day. Beyond Meat. Look at this one. I mean, it's just nasty. It's just nasty, and everybody's down on Beyond Meat. It's as simple as that. There's no one that's up on Beyond Meat. There's not possible. Like, the stock's pretty much at an all-time low. So this is another one of those stocks that just continues to get devastated. Alibaba, where's the bottom at for Alibaba? No one really knows. Obviously, Alibaba has kind of an issue around what's going on in China, Xi Jinping worries, and all that. So Alibaba's in a little bit of a different camp than some of these stocks. This is another one of those that has unbelievable fundamentals of this company, unbelievable growth rates, unbelievable cheap valuation. It's just at the end of the day, when it comes back to Alibaba, a lot of folks can't buy this stock simply because it's a Chinese stock, and there's so many worries about Chinese delisting. And when you look into all the legalities around, like, you're not even really supposed to own a Chinese company technically. If you're an American, you're not legally supposed to be able to do that because of the Chinese regulations and rules and laws. It's complicated, guys. And so it's just freaked a lot of people out. And when you have a downtrending stock price, all of those things get amplified. And so you're looking at Alibaba as one of those stocks that's just the fundamentals are incredible. The valuation looks disgustingly cheap. Like, this stock if this was an American company, it'd be trading at 3x to 4x of valuation today, right? But it's not. It's a Chinese stock, and everybody's scared about that, including myself. That's why I still haven't been able to buy Alibaba, because I'm looking at it and I'm like, but I am contemplating call options. I mean, limit my position sizing just in case they ever did get delisted or something crazy like that happened, right? They just took it off the stock market. I limit my position sizing and call options. And then if everything turns out okay over the next couple of years and that the whole worries around China, delisting, all those things go away, the call options should be able to print some pretty nice money, right? So considering that, everybody's favorite downtrending stock that never stops downtrending is Corsair Gaming, CRSR. This is one of those stocks people are looking at and they're just like, where's the bottom for this stock? Like, seriously, it just never goes up. It always goes down. The thing that Corsair has going for it that's different than other stocks is it's just so dang disappointing. I mean, Corsair doesn't even get your hopes up. Like, you look at some of these stocks, they like bounce around and they'll like go up a bunch and it's like, woo, and then they go down and then go up a bunch. Like, Corsair's not one of those stocks. It's just here as far as the stock price to let us down every single day. There's no like excitement ever in Corsair. It's like, whoa, did you see Corsair just went up 20%? This is awesome. We're going, baby, short squeeze, going to the moon. There's none of that in this one, okay? Let's be quite honest. It's just a downtrending beast. Corsair will have its day to shine. Obviously I'm putting my money where my mouth is, and I bought more Corsair here today. Corsair will have its day to shine, and when it has its day to shine, it's going to be more than a day. It's going to be months and months and months and maybe even several years of shining, but it's not right now. This isn't its year. It went public, last year, obviously, and it's one of those stocks that's just obviously, caught up into a lot, and including everybody that's bought this stock ever is down. So if funds, investors, high net worth individuals, it doesn't matter who you are. If you bought Corsair, you're down. And a lot of folks look at Corsair and they're like, dude, this stock, it never moves. Why, if I sell today and buy back in 30 days, 45 days, so I can go ahead and write off those gains against, that loss against gains I've had, who's to say the stock's going to move? And most people are looking at that and they're like, yeah, the stock's not going to move. It's just a complete downtrend stock. Maybe in 22 it starts moving, but it just, right now it's not moving, and it hasn't been moving. There's nothing that can get the stock moving in the right direction. At least that's what a lot of folks expect, right? And think. So Corsair Gaming just continues to be in this vicious downtrend, and we'll talk about how long I think this is going to last for in just a moment here, okay? Lemonade stock, another one of those. I mean, if you bought Lemonade stock, you're down on this. It hit $49 here today. That stock's just been vicious. I mean, just a vicious downtrend. Lemonade, although its valuations come down a lot, obviously, now trading at $51, it's still trying to figure out. The price of sales is still not cheap, obviously, and Lemonade's, I don't know, it seems like Lemonade's a company that's going to take a net loss for as far out as the eye can see, and so that's what troubles me with Lemonade. I'm like, I really like this innovative business model. I like how disruptive it is. I like the revenue growth story that this is going to have over the next decade, but I'm really trying to figure out, when does this company actually have a positive net income? How many years are we talking into the future? And when they do, how big of the net income is going to build to in this company? So that's what I'm trying to figure out with this one. But shoot, if the stock keeps going down more and more and more, it might be one of those I just buy and just hold for the next, several years as a long-term investment, right? You look at Sam honestly needs a beer. I mean, this stock, it needs a lot of beers. Let's be quite honest. This is just, I mean, it needs to drink away its sorrows at this point. It's bad. It hit a new 52-week low today. And another one of those stocks that if anybody bought this stock in the past year and a half or so, they're down. And they're down a lot. It's not like you're down a little bit. That's the thing when it comes to a lot of these stocks. It's not like, investors, whether we're talking funds, once again, whether we're talking high net worth individuals or the person that's buying $1,000 worth of shares. It doesn't matter who you are. You are down a ridiculous percentage on this. You're down a ridiculous amount of money. And so folks look at a stock like Sam and they're like, why is this stock going to all of a sudden start going up anytime soon? Sell out, take the loss, write it off against your gains you've taken, and go ahead and buy this one back in January, February. That's how a lot of people are thinking about this one. And, they might not be wrong. Once again, it's not the way I think about this, but I can understand why other people think about this. Meanwhile, you have stock like Apple. Look at that. Look at Apple. Apple Snapple. I mean, this baby just roars. It just roars and roars and roars, right? Money likes to hide out in Apple. So a lot of, think about it. If you're selling out of these stocks, and we could have went through 100 different stocks that are like that right now, right? If you're selling out of those stocks, all of a sudden you have money. Where do you put the money, right? And so a lot of people look at it and they're like, well, where are the winners at? Where are the stocks at? I can put money in for the next 30, 45 days and are probably going to go up. That's what a lot of folks like to assume. Funds, traders, even some investors think like that. So like Apple seems pretty good, holiday season, and stocks trending well, biggest company in the world. Let me put my money in Apple for the next 1 to 2 months. You look at Tesla stock. Tesla stock's being a beast, right? We looked at Tesla stock. Why not put it in Tesla? Tesla goes up, seems like 3% every day. Why not just put it in Tesla for the next 30 to 60 days and then go ahead and worry about these other stocks? And so you have money flooding to a lot of these winner stocks. And it's just quite an interesting market. Now, let's talk about how long this is going to go on for. So today is the 22nd of November, right? And this is a day that you have to download the Hungry Bull app on your iOS and Android store. Now it is absolutely free to do so. Track your stocks, cryptos, listen to earnings calls right inside the app, SEC reports, financials, all that fun stuff. And it is November 22nd, okay? So we're coming up here, let's call it on the end of the year, right? Now this is a holiday week, so volume should be down this week for the most part, as well as obviously the last 2 weeks of December. Holiday weeks, volume tanks. You don't have a lot of movement out there in stocks. Sometimes it's my most active time being in the market, honestly, because especially when you're in this time period where you got tax loss harvesting going on and you have low volume, it tanks a lot of stocks. So I've always had a little finesse on the market where a lot of times I will, nibble on some of these positions on the last, few weeks of the year, essentially, because a lot of these stocks get devastated. I remember one of my years I did this the most was 2018. This is one of the years I remember the best as far as being able to capitalize on this, where 2018, October, November into December was ugly, and it got uglier as it went on, right? November and December got really rough. And if you were around during 2018, you remember this, and I know a lot of you guys, maybe half of you guys watching this video, you weren't investing in the market back in 2018, but basically the market got super rough, and it was just a lot of stocks got insanely cheap. I'm seeing the same exact thing happening now. It's just different groups of stocks now are getting insanely cheap versus back then it was other groups of stocks. So needless to say, yeah, this is actually a pretty opportune time to sometimes, if this is a scenario that's going on, and you get other markets where everything's just uptrending. Last year was a bad year to kind of be doing this for the most part, unless you were very, very selective. But for the most part, late in November and into December, there weren't a lot of great deals last year, and we kind of had what's called a Santa Claus rally. A lot of stocks went to the moon. So last year was an example of a year that it wasn't good to implement the strategy, but there's certain years like this year, in my opinion, that are great years to implement the strategy and actually be very active buyer in the market during kind of this time period. Okay, so we're in the 22nd right now. I think this can continue, obviously, if I'm looking at this, I think it can continue, obviously, for the next few weeks and potentially all the way up until about the 22nd, 23rd. Now, it is possible even the last week of December, you could get some last minute folks taking tasks, doing the tax loss harvesting and whatnot, and basically selling off their losing stocks. And writing those off. But for the most part, what I have seen is most people jump the gun a little bit, and not in a bad way at all, just so you know. But a lot of folks, what they do is they just get it done a little earlier than folks expect, because a lot of people think or assume that everybody's going to sell off that last week. And so I wouldn't be surprised if the last, let's call it 5 or 10 trading days of December, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of these stocks we just went through that are beaten down dog stocks, if those stocks actually start to climb in a major way. And the reason being is I think a lot of the tax loss harvesting will be done, way ahead of time. It looks to me like this is all getting pushed forward. So it looks to me kind of like, Black Friday deals keep coming earlier and earlier. It seems like, I was at Target last night and they already got Black Friday sale going on. I'm like, what the heck? It's not even close to Black Friday, and your Black Friday sales already going on, right? So it seems like all these things get pushed up. And the same thing with tax loss harvesting, where people are taking, basically selling out a lot of these stocks that are beating down dogs to write off against gains. And so, yeah, that's kind of what I foresee over the next few weeks. I think a lot of these stocks will continue to be weak, and I wouldn't be surprised if actually in the back half of December they start to bounce back a little bit. So that's why I have this circle here, kind of the 23rd through January, because what you have happen is then going into the new year, a lot of folks start looking at where's the real opportunities, where are the beaten down stocks, right? And going ahead and cash out some of the winners and move some money that's maybe been on the sideline, or from some of the winners into some of those stocks that are just devastated stocks. And this is a strategy that's pretty popular actually in the stock market. It's always been kind of talked about around the Dow stocks, but where you buy the worst performing Dow stocks from the previous year, and you buy those in January and you hold those, and a lot of times those stocks will end up outperforming. I know it's a different concept and strategy. And once again, I don't think like that at all, but a lot of people do. Okay. And so you have to always acknowledge the other players in the market. I think about it in terms of like, is this stock a great deal for me? Am I going to make a ton of money on the stock over the next 3-5 years? If I make a ton of money over the next 3-5 years, I'm buying the dang stock. Okay. But other people think differently, and you got to, accept that there's different players in the market. And so that's when a lot of these stocks, in my opinion, will start going the other way, regardless of really what happens to a lot of these stocks' fundamentals. A lot of those stocks will just start climbing, and it will happen probably pretty rapidly. That's usually what happens there. Now, there's always a possibility. What if there was some sort of massive sell-off in the market or something like that? That's always a possibility. But because so many of these stocks are so beaten down, it might continue to be beaten down over the next few weeks. They just start to reach levels that it's just like you can't really get it down anymore. Let's just put it that way. And so that's what ends up happening. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on what's going on in the market. It's a move to the hot stocks. It's sell all the cold ones, and it's obviously, for somebody like myself that's a long-term investor, I thrive in these sorts of markets because this is where you get the biggest opportunities. You get some stocks that are just trading at prices that it's like, what? Like, how is this stock trading at this price? Like, this is ridiculous. Like, outside of a stock market crash, you don't see some of these stocks trading at these sorts of levels and these sorts of prices. And so when it happens, it's like, woo! Okay. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. If you want to be notified every time I drop a video, put on notifications. Make sure you download the Hungry Bowl and check out that pinned comment. Much love as always, guys, and have a great day. Did you buy anything today? Let me know in the comments.